settlement tour of the Sunshine Tidings Co-op, because someone had asked what to do with it. It is one of the major farms, or it can be one of the major farms in the game. So, we started out by just sort of walling up some areas. This is mainly just to prevent people from running in guns a-blazing. You know, it doesn't stop them from shooting us, but it does stop them from just kind of running through. I don't normally get attacked from this side, which is why I just kind of fenced from one building to another. All of our attacks tend to come from the other side of the settlement. What's that? Huh. Why, yes, I will take your wild corn. Occasionally some crops get out, apparently. Huh. The things you notice. So, this is the side we usually get attacked on, which is why I have quite a long stretch fenced with more sturdy, bulletproof fencing, and then just down to the opening. I haven't scrapped most of this sort of thing. I scrapped a few things inside the different cabins. I suppose if someone really wanted to, or if they were tall, they could start shooting our inside the building, but... So here's the entrance. It's the only way in or out. A few lights just at the entrance. Everything else pretty much is dark. This is our electrical room. This you can see from the smoke coming out of it. It's not the most environmentally friendly place, but there are the generators all rumbling away, and a little control panel. This just helps me assign people to make sure everyone's farming the way they should be. Any cabin that is livable has a little light outside. So you'll see I've managed to get quite a few of them. So there, way over there, and way down there. So I haven't done a lot of decorating inside yet. Normally these little kind of areas would be more personalized than they are right now. Did board up the windows, give them some candles. My general rule is that if it can be seen from outside, it has to be candlelight. If it can't be seen from outside the building, then you can have electricity and bright lights. But otherwise, you're just kind of making yourself a target. Not quite as shared. Just two people here. I did build a new building, and we'll go in there in just a moment. Guy on watch. Nothing ever happens from this direction, so really he's just sort of keeping an eye on the fighting that goes on that overpass. Thankfully, they tend to keep it on that overpass, and it never really spills up here. So it's not much of a... it's not really an exciting post, but it needs to be done. Things to keep them occupied, in case someone wants to keep them company. Everyone's going to bed. Yes. So, nice big building. This is where most of the people sleep. So, sort of a farm. I did have an issue with the rocks, so it ended up getting interesting because of the rocks. Because I didn't want to go really around them, because that would have infringed on our farming area. I kept the native plants, like the wild plants that were there, because I like the idea of them having some wild plants, especially at a farm. Plants that have sort of gone a little odd. This is raised because originally there was a corpse under there, and he would not leave no matter what I did. And I have scrapped that. I think I scrapped that settlement. Good, thank you. But I do have one of the scrapping mods, and even with that, yeah, scrap that settlement. That body just would not go. So he seems to have gone now, but I'm not entirely sure how much. Or maybe he's just tucked under so I can't see him. He might actually be gone. I might be able to get rid of that. In which case, I will get rid of it, and then I will see if I can glitch something, either a candle or... yeah, that's too small for a campfire. I might be able to fit a candle in there, though, so I can actually have a working fireplace-ish place. The Brahmin, looking at me weird. I gave them some razor grain and a bit of shelter. It's the only shelter they have. There's no barn space for them. So yeah, but I did give them some food at least. And on around to the existing stuff. I kept the rocks and things. I didn't bother scrapping them. I may if I ever really desperately need the material, but again, kept most of the furniture that was here originally. I think the only thing I got rid of was the broken stuff. You know, since they have a sink, they get to wash things.
Make sure you don't leave anything useful.
Somebody likes sleeping with a teddy bear, but not as personalized as most of my settlements are. Oh, should show this. There is a slight step up for help when we're defending. What is that? Oh, cool bodies. Yeah. For a while I was just tossing them outside the settlement to try to get rid of them. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I love the game. I am slightly obsessive. So, a bit of a walkway here. You can walk over, you can jump on the roof if you need to. Fire away at some enemies, see them coming a long way off. Back into here. This is a shorter one down here. You can still fire over, but you're better off shooting at someone who's a bit farther away. We'll go into the house we jumped over. This is another occupied home. Again, kept most of the stuff. Just scrapped what I needed to. Sometimes...
You ain't one of them synths here to spy on me.
No, I am not. Although that might explain why I have my gun out. I'll use things like the larger signs to cover up broken windows. So that's why I've got half of that window covered up.
Don't much care for good neighbor. That place is nothing but trouble.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with you. Sometimes I'll use a cabinet to cover up a window when it's broken. Just because rad storms are kind of creepy and you don't want to have that pouring into your house. It's right here. And that is the last of the homes. So, this is one of the two warehouses that is pre-existing. The other one's over there. Nice little sign. That comes from the Nuka World add-in, and I'm using I'm using Unlock Settlement Objects. So that's where I picked that up. I haven't actually gone to Nuka World, even though I have it, just because I'm still working on Far Harbor. I did finish the Mechanist, though. That thing drove me nuts. So, there's a gift shop, there's first aid, refreshments are at that end of the warehouse, as opposed to this end of the warehouse. So, we will, since everyone has gone, and it's not technically open anymore, this is our bar. Not very big. It's just big enough for some people to sit around and have some drinks at the end of the day.
If you ain't been up to see Great Garden, you should go. The whole place is run by robots.
I haven't given them bottles. Normally I would have that filled with alcohol bottles and cups and glasses and such. I will be doing it. As I said, I decorate obsessively normally. Come in through the back. Really should only do that if you're an employee. Speaking of... Come on, menu. There we go. Let's go. That should have... Let's get a little further from the music so it doesn't get weird. Let's see here. Is it gonna stick? Alrighty. There we go. That's better. This is our clinic. A couple of chem boxes. First aid kits hidden under the actual trader stand. Get some things on the table or in the cabinet. Again, both types of first aid kits. Just because I like the fact that they look a bit different. It's harder to tell from the front, but you can't tell. Some antiseptic, very important stuff. Rad-X, not very important. This, never mind. Red storms, I guess, do make it a necessity. But some Jet, some Psycho, some Radaway. What have I got on the tray? Oh, cloth. It's probably a knife up there too, although I don't think I can grab it from here. Yes, those tucked under. The ladder is there because there is stuff stored up on top of the med kit, or of the clinic, because when you've got the space, it really should be used. Sink doesn't look terribly clean, but it's better than not washing your hands at all, I guess. Some notices. Can't really see that one, but it does tell people to wash their hands. Honest. Cleanliness. It's important. The actual clinic area itself. Nice pharmaceutical kit. Some towels. That again comes from the Unlock Settlement Objects. Actually, that might be the sheets. Either way. Chem box. Place for either the doctor or a visitor to sit. The doctor apparently is just sleeping in here right now. Cabinet with another cooler up there for keeping things. You're a healer, not a killer. Sometimes when I'm decorating, I'll put the relevant items in the cabinet in that space as sort of a placeholder to put them in later. I find it helpful. So here's the general store. It's looking pretty sparse. But we can use the fish scale to weigh razor grain. Got the Nuka-Cola cash register over here just because I liked it. If you place one of the orange or blue small cabinets, like the shelving units, you can fit them under that. They fit perfectly. And that way you can actually like place things on the stand and have them stay there. I like using these shelves. See? And then you can put something on it and it'll stick. I like using the shelves personally, and then I'll actually put things on the shelves underneath. Ah! Who's been throwing the vegetables around? You can't do that. They'll bruise. So, some corn, melons, potatoes, silt beans, because we have a bunch of them. Using some boxes. Again, these came from Unlocked Settlement Objects. By far my favorite mod. These kinda gross looking right now. Might not want to get something out of them. Lunchbox, because hey, who doesn't want a lunchbox? Fertilizer, it's a very important thing here. Acid, just because. Some bone, it's good for soup. Stuck a box up there, some asbestos. Just sort of some general items. It's not terribly needed yet, because I haven't gone through and decorated the entire place. Something I do like, if you are decorating, the Radstag hide, the Brahmin hide, I think mole rat hide. There's like 4 or 5 or 6 different hides. They do all look different. These ones are different colors, some of them are a different size. The cloth, a roll of cloth looks different than a roll of rubber, which looks different than a roll of plastic. So you can use your just sort of base elements as decorating items as well. Just a lonely box of bone over here. And somebody went to Nuka World and brought back a souvenir. Now, we'll go to the big barn. I have sort of kept things planted in rows. I tend to mix the wild in with the regular plants, because again, you can do that with Unlock Settlement Objects. Although apparently I must have been like at the end of what I had. I do scatter baskets around, put things in them, just so it looks like they're actually working for a living. I stuck a stair here because I got tired of not being able to walk up over this ledge. You'll find those up at, I want to say 10 pines as well. These annoying, just, yeah, another stairway here, for the same reason. Just because they annoy me. Melons. That might be one of the wild plants. But yeah, anytime I saw one of these, the rows already sort of lined up, I tried to use them as much as possible. A little bit of water. These I've just kind of scattered around. I don't have a big water pump. They have to make do with drawing it from a well. This is the processing area. Some meat that's drying. It's important. Deathclaw hide, just because I thought it neat. And who doesn't want to brag that they killed the Deathclaw, right? Over on this side, we have mostly blossoms and some beans. So these would be used for getting seed. Oh, there's a vase over there. Some laying in here, just waiting to be done. course, the workshop. On this side, built a bin. Very handy. Unless you want to pick fruits or vegetables for ages to place them in there, fill the bottom with something. I think there might be an end table or a coffee table in there somewhere under those, just so I didn't have to, you know, pick quite as many to fill it up, so you could actually see them over the top. So, got some gourds. Oh, a carrot that was trying to run away. Bin of carrots. Each of those were picked and placed in the basket individually. I don't use OC Decorator. So, yeah. All of the fruit and vegetables were picked by me and then put in. I do like the look of the wild corn. That's the yellow, better than the regular corn, which is kind of a mold color. Yeah, it just looks vile. Nice basket of potatoes. Somebody's knife that they left out when they were working. Sledgehammers, very important on a farm. Some machetes, also very important when you're trying to get something hacked up. Put some more meat over here. That will eventually go back there for drying. But Deathclaw, Brahmin, Mongrel. They can hang it here too. Chem station. They rarely get any chems, but it's occasionally good for preserving things. Buddy, you should get that looked at. Oh, it's morning. I was gonna say, these people are really keen. I'm not sure why he's so close to the building. There's nothing there. Oh well. Again, some baskets and bins for harvesting. Some over here. A shipment ready to go to Coastal Cottage. And some more of the farm over here. There should be... there were some wild plants here originally. And again, when they were, I left them. Because they're not always easy to find if you need them for something. And then, again, just a basket out for them to harvest in. The big building. I moved this because this was a nice flat area. It's already dirt. There used to be a cabin with no... I think this is where the cabin with no back used to be located. So once I scrapped that, it was a nice flat spot with no grass. Perfect area for a fire. That way they don't, you know, light the rest of the place up.
Work, you eat.
Good little balcony, little bench. I assume at some point there are children in the Commonwealth, other than down in Somerville. So yeah, they have a horse. It seems appropriate for a farm. Oh, sorry bud, we'll get out of your way. Or you could just go back inside, that's fine too. Seating area, dining space, more seating, more storage, because, you know, people tend to just carry it back into the building with them and forget about it. This will have more on it at some point than a bit of leather and some fiberglass and some gears. Again, I tend to fill shelving. Little cat bowl down there. Very small classroom, but that will have toys in it. Some reassuring posters. Teacher's desk with a ham radio, not that anything ever comes in on it. antique globe of the way the world used to be. Some books. I do have burnt textbooks and such that I can put on those. Right now they are in storage in Sanctuary, but I have a bunch on the shelving in Sanctuary. Some seedlings that they're starting. Obviously not doing terribly well, or doing really well, because potato plants look horrible. They never look like they're actually alive, and neither do silt beans. They look terrible. Managed to get that tucked under there. I think I had to take the stairway off and then put the stairs on again after to get that underneath the stairway like that. Could probably do it with a rug glitch, but I'm not positive. I really like this style of dresser. It looks practical, especially if you've got a fire nearby or a kitchen stove that this can be extended toward, so it looks like they're actually drying something. Some fresh sheets. The half walls are wonderful for just splitting off areas. You can attach a roof and still walk right up to the wall, so it doesn't block any of your space up. These, I didn't want to put like doorways and such everywhere. It's not that kind of a building. They don't have that kind of resources. So I use shelving units, and that way I can put personal items on there. Probably folded up clothes, maybe some books, maybe some burnt magazines. Usually a glass or a coffee cup of some kind. Sometimes booze, depending on their vices. These are Children of Adam lights. They have gorgeous reflections. They cast great shadows on the walls. And they're not incredibly bright. And again, that's from, well, it's from Far Harbor, but it's from Unlock Settlement Objects. That one is not in use yet. Nobody's living there. This guy is still moving in. Obviously has a bunch of stuff, or will once I actually give him some stuff. But he does get some light. I like giving them all their own lights. Nobody wants to sleep in the dark in the wasteland. That one, they're not going to have much in the way of personal stuff. I might move that bin down where you can see into it at some point. Some candles. This guy has blocked off one of the windows entirely, one of the broken barn windows, because really you only need one. And that... oh, I have that out because there is not quite enough space to have it beside like these ones. And on this side, this one I did get a little more personal with. Gave him some extra lighting, gave him a suitcase, blocked off half of his window, and then most of the window on this side as well. Those light bulbs are, again, part of the Children of Adam from Far Harbor. And, again, one of those hanging bottles of radioactive glowing stuff. But, put a skylight in, so they don't need a whole lot of light, but it works out nicely. So that is the Sunshine Tidings Co-op. I can put in an entire row of vegetables here. I will have to do that. Yeah, like I said, I rarely get a message saying that this place is being attacked. So that's why I don't mind, like having it just sort of runs itself. I did block off the store in this door, just to make it a little more through.
You know what I call a good day? one that ends without an empty stomach.
Yeah. People working, farming even, digging stuff. Where did that end up? One of the things settlers do that just irks me is they don't close doors behind themselves. Ever. Ever, ever. So yeah, that drives me nuts. I'm just waiting. Someone at some point will also get irritated and make a mod for them to close the doors. But yeah, I just put a smaller door inside that space. Used 2 of the broken wall pieces face to face to create that kind of gap. And yeah, it's a little bit of a sheltered area. Free the robots, don't make them work on farms, apparently. But thanks for joining me, and I will possibly go back up to the visitor center to do some more repair work. I may do another settlement tour. I'm very fond of Hangman's Alley, just because I've done a ton of stuff there. See? Pancakes. You too can have food. So, I'll be back in a few minutes.